Hey, welcome back to Dad and Son's Garage. We're going to do a video for you today. We are upgrading our pressure washer. At least we hope it's an upgrade. We're going to find out. All right, so this is our old guy right there. This thing we've had about 5 years. It is a Subaru. It's Black Max, actually, with Subaru engine. 2,700 PSI, 2.3 gallons per minute. Gas powered. It's been pretty good. We haven't had any real issues with it other than the pump went out, and now we got another pump problem with it, and that's what's causing us to make the change now. But you know, we change the oil every season, stuff like that. It's a pain in the butt to change the oil because your drain plug is over here, so you have to, it makes a mess, I'll put it that way. So it is kind of a pain in the rear to do it. I hate the tires on it because they're so hard that you really have to pull hard on it to get it up over like the garage, you know, coming into the garage and stuff. Just this little area here, you got to pull it real hard because the tires don't have any cushion to them, so it's kind of a pain. But anyway, the pump now has broken again, so I'm going to repair it and sell it, but I'm kind of done with messing around with this thing. So what we did was we went out and got one of these POWERHORSE pressure washers. This is from Northern Tool. Normally the price on these is $4.49. Ran into a special the other night because I've been looking for them for a while. I've also been looking at the Greenworks, which is really highly rated. But anyway, we have been looking at the Greenworks and this POWERHORSE model. All the specs are virtually identical on these two. I couldn't really see a whole lot of difference between the two. The tires are different, but beyond that, I mean, the design and everything is the same. So I don't know who these are made by, but POWERHORSE is the brand of Northern Tool. And that's kind of what they specialize in, or kind of how they got their start, was doing pressure washers. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and unbox this thing for you. And Joshua's already prepared. I see him pulling the knife out of his pocket. But we'll get this thing unboxed here and let's see how much assembly we have to do. All right, so that's metal. The other one on the Black Max was plastic. That's interesting. So this thing's got a 35-foot power cord. Here we go. He's fixing to extricate it from the box, it looks like. Now, I've lifted this into my car all by myself, so it's not terribly heavy. I occasionally have to lift the Subaru one up, or the Black Max, pick it up on the workbench to work on it, and I can lift it up there by myself without too much struggle, but I can tell after lifting both of them that this POWERHORSE is definitely lighter. One thing I did hate about this Subaru, and that I've hated about several of them, is the water ports are so low to the ground. When you try to move these things around, it jams it into the ground. So you can't really get a whole lot of tilt on it when you're trying to maneuver the pressure washer. And so I like a pressure washer that has the pump more on the front like this, so you don't have the issues of it jamming into the ground. All right, so step number one is grabbing this piece here, and then we're going to grab this piece here. And on this side that has the hanger, we have to get the bolts.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So you're going to need just the two short screws to start this thing right here. number 3 Phillips. And then over on this side, you're actually going to go through this plastic as well. Same screws as the other side. Oh, you need number 3. That's a number 1.
How do you tell what a number 3 is?
All right, so Joshua had a really good question, and I'm sure most of you watching this probably know this, but I never like to assume, so I do like to use it as a little learning thing for those that don't know. So number 1 Phillips is going to be your more common small one. And then you got a number 2. That's what you're going to use. In my case, I use the number 2 almost all the time. Probably 90% of things that I use Phillips head on is a number 2. That's one that to me is a more standard size. Then a number 3 you're going to notice gets a little bigger again. So there's your differences between a 1, 2, and a 3. And in this case, we're going to use a number 3.
How tight?
Snug. Just snug.
What does that mean?
Pretty tight. Good. That's good.
Okay.
Okay, that can go ahead and be set aside now for the moment. All right, so for the next part, they're calling these a cord storage arms. So you're going to need all these parts here. This is where we're going to wrap the power cord, and it's going to require these 6 pieces, and they do come in a bag separately, so they're really easy to identify.
Where are we putting this on here?
Nope. So you're going to take this like this.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to take it, put it right on here. You're going to drop your screw down in. Okay. Once you get it dropped through there, probably want to put the screwdriver on it. Go up to where your hole is here. And you should be able to start screwing it in.
You want it pretty tight on this too?
Yes, not overly tight to break the plastic, but yeah, pretty snug. Perfect. All right, now we're going to install the handle. So we're going to slide this over this.
Is this where you need the bolt and the washer?
And this is where we're going to need those long bolts.
The black ones?
Yes. And the washers, I believe.
How are you going to get these in?
Okay, so the way these work, you'll see this has got like the squared off part. That's like a carriage bolt. So it's going to actually go into this little square right here. That's going to keep this from spinning, but these are also rounded off like this so that they fit the contour of the handle. That also helps it to where they don't move. So see, it fits perfectly flush when you put it on like that, and then you're going to put these little wings on. And you'll just tighten them by hand. Doesn't need to be overly tight at all. All right, so what Joshua's doing now is he's going ahead and then putting the spray nozzles in the holders up here. It's kind of neat that they are color coded. It makes it very easy to put them in the right slot. They do fit tight, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a turbo nozzle that comes with it also. Now, ironically, the instructions say nothing about installing the tires. It says now to go hook it up to water and test it. It never mentioned anything about installing the wheels, so I'm sure we're probably smart enough to figure that one out. But It's kind of funny that the instructions completely skipped over it. It went from installing the upper handle where it showed no wheels on it still, and then it goes straight to connecting the hose to it and testing it. So we're gonna put the wheels on.
Why is it says not for highway use? You really think someone's gonna use that on the highway?
I don't know. Why do they have to, on a coffee cup, say hot? You know, it's like same old thing. Like there's no common sense left. So you can just push it up like this now. Makes it very easy. Slide the wheel on. You've got your washer that will go right over the shaft. But that washer will just sit right there. And then we're going to get this nut started. And it already has the Loctite on it. So once we tighten this down, we'll be good to go. Let me see. Okay, so this is going to take a 13mm socket. You can go ahead and work on that. I'll go over here and figure out what's going on.
Not too tight, just tight enough.
I'd get it tighter. Does that feel tight?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could go tighter.
No, you're good. Okay, so yeah, now you can go ahead and connect the hose and get the wand finished putting it together. All right, last but not least, we're going to connect to the pump. Which is right over here. If you just push it in to get it past that rubber washer, then you can simply screw the thing on. If you try to start screwing it on before you push the rubber washer in, it's going to get difficult.
Oh, this thing's so light.
Yeah, it's significantly lighter than the other one.
Is this thing over here so one person can carry over here and then over there?
No, so what you've got here is that's...
Or is this so it can stand like this?
Yes, exactly. When you're storing it, it doesn't take up much space at all because you can store it like that.
Up straight instead of...
Exactly.
Yeah, diagonal.
All right, so now that it's all assembled, we're going to take it outside, connect it to some water, and we're going to give this baby a test. But we're also going to do a test on the decibel reading because I've always heard that these are quieter than the gas-powered brothers. So let's see what kind of decibel readings we get. And we're going to do these outside. We're going to connect it in the yard where we would normally connect it so that we can get kind of a real life. I don't want to do it here in the garage where we'd get more echoing and more noise. Okay, so we're going to start first with the gas. And I hope you can see this because I can't see it on my phone screen. Thank you, iPhone.
So start her up?
Start her up. Okay, so from here about 4 feet away, we're sitting at about 82 decibels with it running. So let's go ahead and fire up this other one. See what we get. Doesn't even change. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that on the screen or not, but it didn't even change on the screen when we turned that pressure washer on. So it was a big nuttin'. All right, let's start hitting some of these bugs up here, these dead bugs on the back of these cameras. I brushed them off, it ain't working, so. So that's all there is to turn it on, no pulling anything. So let's try to get the back of these solar panels here. Have all the dead bugs and stuff on them. Yeah, that's doing pretty good. All right, so I do like that it's so quiet because we can talk almost normal volume levels. So that's a good thing. What my perception was when I'm watching Joshua use this is it didn't have a lot of power.
Okay, that's what I was thinking too.
Okay, that's what you were feeling? So I'm gonna go over here to this car that's, oh. It actually feels like more when you're behind it than what it looks like when you're using it. I do love how easy it turns on and off. Now, 3,000 PSI.
I don't feel it. I felt it more in the gas.
I mean, this is not a scientific review. We never do scientific reviews. We do common sense reviews. I'm not feeling anywhere near 3,000. It feels much weaker than my 2,700 pound gas powered, or PSI gas powered one. Let's try this turbo nozzle they gave us. I'm kind of curious. It is doing the job. It's, I think it's gonna work fine because we don't use it really to remove all the dirt from a car. We do use it under the wheel wells, on wheels, things like that, but for the most part, we let, you know, we're gonna wash it. So let's see how this turbo nozzle does. That's kind of good for, it's kind of good for general cleaning because you see it is taking some of the dirt off. It's not nearly getting in the pores the way the gas powered one did. So again, I'm not dissatisfied with it. I think for the way we use a pressure washer, I think it's going to be great. But to call this 3,000 PSI and that one 2,700, if this is 3,000, that's 4,000. That's kind of the way it appears to me with the level of cleaning that we're getting with it. So again, I am not dissatisfied with it. There is some give and take. I'm questioning, you know, the validity of the 3,000 PSI, but for what we do with it, it's going to work fine. And I love how quiet it is. I love how easy the setup is. So, you know, I'm not going to miss having to pull that thing to get it started and listening to it as loud as it is. If I wanted to come out here at 8 in the morning on a Saturday, I think I could do that without making the neighbors mad, where the gas powered one, I'm not going to do that. So so far I give it a pretty good rating. I like it, and we'll see how it lasts long term. It does have a 2-year warranty. We'll see how it goes. If I have any updates down the road here, I'll bring them to you. But until then, we'll catch you next time right here on Dad's Garage.